Hi guys, it's OverLVLResistant here. Welcome to this Jurassic World Alive tier list video, in which we are going to rank every single common creature in Jurassic World Alive. Let's start off with Allosaurus. Good health, high damage, low speed and good critical chance. Vulnerability resistance does not really help it, since both of its attacks cleanse vulnerability. This is overall a really good creature, one of the best commons. It's S tier. So the next creature is Amphision, with pretty low health, okay damage, good speed, good critical chance. This is so much like Ruckus, but it's a bit worse, of course, worse moveset, bit worse stats. And the same on escape move, the no escape. I would say this creature among commons is not really bad, but also not one of the best ones. So it's maybe solid B tier or A tier. It's rather B, I would say. And the next creature is going to be Ankylosaurus Gentoo. Good health and armor, pretty low damage, okay speed. The abilities are really bad. Superior vulnerability is good, but group taunting shields is just a bad move and does not synergize with superior vulnerability. So that's why Ankylosaurus was C tier. And here's Apatosaurus, high health, very high, the highest in the game, low damage and the lowest speed of all creatures. The moveset is also very bad. Resilient Strike and Group Decelerating Strike do exactly the same. Resilient Strike maybe is a little bit better because it also removes dodge and cleanses distraction. And the next creature is Archaeotherium. Pretty low health, low damage and good speed, stun resistance, but its moveset is just so bad. It's one of the worst commons in the game. Let's see. The next creature is Brontotherium. Now this creature is very good health and armor, okay damage, mediocre or slow speed, but good resistance, the speed decrease resistance, and the abilities are really great. Both of its moves are good, and the swapping defense is useful against especially cunning creatures. That's why I decided to put Brontotherium in S tier. Moving on to the next one. Next creature is Dino Curious. Lately I overrated this one a little bit, but I think overall this is a decent creature, but yes, it's over average, but also not one of the best. It's a B tier, I think, or yes, it's B tier, solid B. I almost wanna put it in A tier, but it's not that great. The next creature is Deinonychus, which is a really great cunning with pretty low health, okay damage and really good speed. It's one of the two creatures that has 132 speed. The other one is Velociraptor, of course. It also has great moves. Evasive Strike and Pounce are both good against fierce creatures. So I will put it in A, although we don't have the image. Lophosaurus Gentoo. This creature is a cunning as well, with pretty low health, really high damage. Look at that. The speed is good also. Resistance, yes, it has the distraction as a lot of other cunning creatures. It has cunning, strike and impact, which does not seem very strong, but paired with that really high damage, they are absolutely okay, and impact does so much damage. I would say Dilophosaurus Gentoo is somewhere A or B. It's low A in my opinion. And moving on to the next one, it's Dimetrodon Gentoo. Good health, okay damage, mediocre speed, really good resistances, but its abilities, yes, they might seem good, but armor piercing rampage does have 1 turn delay, which means that first turn it can just go for a strike, which does not do too much damage. So I think this creature, yes, it's useful against resilience, but like Euplocephalus, but nothing more. It's B tier, decent creature, but not one of the best. Here's the Morphodon with low health, really low damage, the lowest of all creatures, good speed, and okay moveset, and okay swap in wound ability. This is, yes, it can be used, sure, but it's not over B tier. Let's move on to the next one. It's Diplocolos. This one has pretty low health, high damage and good speed, distraction resistance, okay moveset. If we include that, it has really high damage. So it's B tier, solid B, almost A tier, but I would say it's B. The next creature is Dracorax Gentoo, which is one of the 2 creatures in game that has the swap in savagery move. The other one is, of course, the well-known rat, aka Dracoceratops. And this one has good damage, low health, low speed. The moveset is okay, so it's A tier, I would say, just because of the good swapping move. Moving on to the next one, it's Iguanodon. Iguanodon has okay health and armor, pretty low damage and not so good speed. It has resilience, strike and heal, which isn't really good, but heal does synergize well with swap in stunning strike, since this one can just swap in, then cleans the swap prevention, and be swapped out and swapped back in again, and then it can cleanse again and so on. Just like that, Iguanodon goes to A tier. Let's move on to Ethereum. This creature is also very good. It's one of the best commons, with not really great health, damage and speed, but amazing abilities. So just like that, Ethereum is S tier, I would say. Unfortunately, we don't have the picture though. Let's move on. The next creature is going to be Euplocephalus, which is a resilient with high armor and good health, but with low damage and mediocre speed. The abilities are good, but any fierce creature can easily deal with this one. So it's a solid B tier, I would say. Maybe even A, but it's rather solid B. That's where we're gonna put it. And let's move on to the next creature, which is going to be Gallimimus. Gallimimus has low health, fine damage and good speed, with some good resistances. Unfortunately though, the abilities it has are really bad, so I can't put it over C tier. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be the Glyphthalon. Glyphthalon is almost the same thing as Euplocephalus, but it just outclasses it. It has more health, more damage, the armor is the same, and the speed is a bit slower, yes, but this one also has the speed decrease resistance, or immunity, so 100% resistance. The moves are almost the same. Instead of a rampage, this one has a resilient rampage, which is even better, although it has one weakness, the one turn cooldown it has. But Glyphtodon is S tier, of course. But we don't have the image. The next creature is going to be Hexacopterics with good health, okay damage and mediocre speed, but its moveset is terrible even with the swap in defense. I can't put it over C tier. And let's move on to the next creature, which is going to be the Iguanodon. Nothing to say about this. Low damage paired with okay health, but its moveset is terrible. As you can see, just cleansing strike and emergency heal. That's the lowest combination possible. Here's Inostransevia with okay health, or maybe even good health, okay damage and high speed, but its abilities aren't the best. So I would say Inostransevia goes to C tier. Moving on to the next one, it's Irritator Gentoo. This one is a swap-in creature with low health, low damage, good speed, some good resistances, and also the abilities it has are okay, but this creature is, yes, sure you can use it, but not one of the best ones. So in my opinion, this one goes to B tier. Moving on to the next one, it is going to be Litronax. Litronax has good health, low damage and low speed. The abilities it has are okay, and it has the armor piercing counterattack, which is pretty good. In fact, it makes this creature usable. And make it a decent B tier creature. Moving on to the next one. The next creature is Majungasaurus. Majungasaurus is almost the same as Litronax, just a little bit of ability differences, and it has weapon ferocity. On the other hand, this one has a bit less health, so they are pretty much the same, both of them in solid B tier, I would say. On to the next one. The next creature is going to be the Mira Gaia. Mira Gaia is kind of overrated, it's pretty bad in fact. Its health is low, damage is low, speed is okay. Its abilities are quite good with the decelerating counterattack, but still not one of the best creatures. I can't put it over B tier. Moving on, the next creature is Monologusaurus Gentoo. This one has low health, good damage and good speed. The abilities are perfect against any first class creature, but unfortunately against other cunnings and resilient creatures this isn't the best creature to use. It's a solid B tier, I would say. The next creature is Nunda Suchus. This one has low health, high damage and high speed, with a really good speed decrease resistance. The abilities are mediocre. I would say this creature overall is a high B tier, maybe A tier. No, let's just stick it into B tier. Well, I kind of wanna put it in A. I wanna put it in A. Yes, it's better like than the Morphodon or Mira Gaia. Yes, it's better than Irritator Gentoo. High B, maybe low A. Let's put it in low A. And let's move on to the next one. The next creature we are going to discuss is Archaeotherium. Good health, great damage, low speed and good resistances. The abilities are exact same as the Majungasaurus Gentoo, but I think this creature is a little bit better. Do I put it in high B tier or low A tier? It's a bit like Nunda Suchus. You know what, guys? Let's put it in A tier. Just because it's way better against other fierce creatures than the Majungasaurus Gentoo. Of course, both are good against resilience, but this one is better against fierce creatures. And let's move on to the next one. The next creature is Parasaurolophus. Nothing to say about this one. It's so bad. Its damage is really bad. Its moveset is terrible. One of the worst common creatures in the game. Moving on to the next one, it is Ruckus. Low health, good damage and good speed, but unfortunately the abilities aren't the best. The fact that it cannot do damage at the first turn it is in play, it's very bad. Raking Claws, yes, it can do a lot of damage, can one-shot a few things, other cunning creatures mostly, so that's why I would say it's B tier, but it's low B, of course. Moving on. The next creature is going to be the Parasaurolophus Gentoo. Good health, okay damage, but unfortunately its moveset is very bad, so that's why it is so low. It just cannot do too much damage. It's C tier. Here is Nunda Suchus though, which now does have the lethal wound, which is a really great move, especially paired with no escape ability. It prevents opponents from running away from its damage over time effect, so Suchus is a B tier, in my opinion. It's not overpowered, but it's also not really bad. The next creature we have is Stegosaurus. No, we had Scolosaurus, yes. Scolosaurus is just like Euplocephalus with a bit less armor, but better health and damage stats, and also slower speed. But this does have the speed decrease resistance, and this one makes it better than Euplocephalus. However, its rampage is on 1 turn delay, but I still would say this one is better than Euplocephalus. That's why I would say I should put it in A tier maybe. Yes, let's stick it into A tier. Or maybe high B, but to show the difference, it's A tier. And let's move on to the next creature. The next creature we have is going to be the Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus, the creature itself, is really good. It's amazing. I love the creature, but in this game, unfortunately, it is pretty bad. Mediocre health, low damage, and very bad moveset. The speed is also mediocre. I feel so sad for this, but it's the truth. Also, Apatosaurus might be at least as strong as Stegosaurus, so that's why I think I put it up to C tier. Up, yes, down. To be honest, it's down. And moving on to the next creature, it is Stigma Gentoo. Low health, okay damage, good speed. Unfortunately though, the abilities this creature has are really bad. I would say this is C tier, or maybe even lower. I don't even know what's the name of that tier. It's just a forget about it tier. Okay, and here we go, Sushomus. This is like Sarcosuchus, nothing really big difference. They are both in B tier. They are solid but not overpowered. The next creature is Dino Curious, which has good damage but low health, and also good speed, but unfortunately it does not have any distracting move, which is a problem because it cannot stand for too long on the field, and even a lot of fierce creatures just kill it. So it's going to be in B tier or maybe even C tier. I don't like this one, it's C tier. Some people might not agree with me, but this is my own tier list. Let's move on. Maybe the next creature is going to be the Therbosaurus. Therbosaurus has great health, great damage, low speed and great critical chance. In addition, its abilities are good paired with its moves, paired with its stats. So Therbosaurus is A tier. Yes, it's not as good as Allosaurus. Yes, this one has a bit lower health, lower damage, but higher critical chance. The difference maker is the armor piercing impact and fierce impact, because this one just armor piercing impact. And here is Triceratops Gentoo, which has a good swap-in move and resilient strike and rampage. It's a bit like Iguanodon. I like this creature. This is pretty good, and that's why it's A tier. And here we go, the last creature we have. It's Velociraptor, the fastest creature in the game, and its high bounce can do quite a lot of damage. Its health, though, is a problem because its health is really low. It can be one shot by even a lot of fierce creatures. So, but still, Velociraptor is pretty good. I'm going to give it a solid A tier. So, this is the finalized version of my own Jurassic World Alive Common creature tier list. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And leave a comment where you tell me which creatures you agree with, which creatures you don't agree with, which creatures should be lower or higher, or any questions or concerns in connection to the video. And although this was quite a long one, I hope no one was bored and we had some fun, because I did have some fun, of course. And this is it for the video. I'm OverLVLResistant. Bye guys.